how YouTube has changed my life, or has it changed my life in any way? The truth about starting a YouTube channel, and three things I wish I'd known before I'd even started. Hey, welcome back to the Desperate Historian. Thanks for stopping by to talk about history. But today we'll be talking about what my journey's been like over the past 3 months. So maybe if you're interested in starting a new YouTube channel, you get some feedback from somebody who is just started their journey too, and you get an idea of where I am with everything. And what has happened to me since I've started. I would say overall that starting a YouTube channel has been a very, very positive experience, and I'm glad I did it. It has not changed my life in terms of career or finances in any way, but I didn't really expect that either. I didn't really know what to expect, so I didn't have high expectations. I didn't have low expectations. I just didn't know what to expect, so I wasn't sure what would happen. So I just started it. But over the past 3 months, here's what I've learned. First of all, I'm really surprised by the support that I've gotten. My channel's been focused mainly on history or how history impacts our daily lives. And I posted about a video a week, and the support has been tremendous. I've been really happy to see that I've had several viewers on videos. I've got subscribers, some thumbs up, comments, positive and negative. And I appreciate everyone who's taken the time to subscribe, watch a video, leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, all those things. I really do appreciate that. So I'm surprised I have kind of any interaction at all. So I was glad to see that. It's been very positive. And I want to thank everybody who has taken the time to leave a comment, subscribe, or watch a video. I'm not going to go through a bunch of screenshots at the moment, but I'm at 38 subscribers after 3 months. I don't know if that's good or bad. That my metric is probably different than other people, and I'm just happy to have subscribers and there are people watching the videos and getting something out of it. So I'm happy about that. Um, so I'm only 962 away from being monetized. The best performing video so far has over 500 views. This was my video on the sort of my reaction to Cracker Barrel changing their logos in their stores. And my worst video so far has 4 views, and those are probably my views watching that. And that video was about embracing the old-fashioned ways and doing kind of things an old-timey way, which is kind of funny to me that I have 2 videos with not opposing messages, but different messages. And I think that the Cracker Barrel crowd, the people who were upset with me about the Cracker Barrel video, might have been interested in watching the video about how I say there is value in doing things the old way or traditional way. There is value in doing things in an old-timey way. So I kind of wish that that video had gotten more traction, and the people who had taken the time to watch my thoughts about Cracker Barrel then had watched the video about how I try to embrace things that are kind of the traditional way or doing things in an old-fashioned way. But I've got no control over the algorithm. I'm awash on the seas of the algorithm, and that's all we can do. Like I said, I'm averaging posting about a video per week. That's kind of the pace I wanted to set myself up to try to accomplish each week. Most of them been about history or current events, and I would say on average I'm averaging about 100 views per video, which is fantastic. Seems like there's a very slow but steady growth in the channel, so I'm really happy about that. I would say that the other really positive thing that I've taken away from this is that I've just learned a lot. I've learned a lot of technical skills. I'm not a tech person. I really struggle with learning new technology and adapting it into my life, and it's a challenge for me. And so I've really been forced out of my comfort zone to learn new hardware and new software, and I think that's been great. It's been sort of pushing myself to do something new, and I can see that there's going to be lots of uses for this for me in the future, whether or not I continue doing YouTube videos or not. If I continue using it, I can use a camera, I can do editing and so forth. Maybe I'll do something else professionally or make documentaries, or I'll just be better at doing Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So it's just been really beneficial to learn more about editing, lighting, setting up the camera, creating thumbnails, those sorts of things. That's been a really positive experience. So um, that's one thing I learned. Another thing I learned is that my more political, controversial videos have generally done better. And, you know, I'm not surprised by that. The algorithm kind of rewards controversy and touching people's nerve spots. So I'm not surprised by that. I'm not going to necessarily lead into that. I'm going to make content that interests me, that I want to do, but that I also think may be of interest or of value to you in some way. So I'm not going to necessarily lean into what performs better. I'm just going to kind of make the videos that I want to make and hopefully have some value to you as well. I've also learned, and I thought this going into it, but I learned that authenticity matters. That I think that people are just tired of being lied to at lots of levels by businesses and politicians and entertainment companies and everything else. I think they're tired of being lied to. I think they're tired of AI. They're tired of seeing things. They're not sure if it's real or not. Seems made up, whether it's a voiceover or fake video or images or something. So I think they're tired of that. I also think people are tired of being like constantly sold to or even scammed. They're sick of that too. So just seeing people give an opinion, an idea, share a thought, share a skill. Authenticity definitely matters, and anyone who's going to start a YouTube channel, I think that's the most key thing. Is you got to be yourself and share your own expertise and thoughts and opinions, and not really be trying to accomplish anything else. Um, I think the next thing I learned, the fourth thing I learned, is that to have a clear vision of what you want your channel to be. I mean, there's lots of ideas I have about things I could share, things that I've learned, usually the hard way. So there's lots of things that you could talk about, or you could share, or you could entertain people with, or it could educate people about. But you kind of want to have a clear vision about what your channel is going to be about. Mine's been pretty consistently about history, or about sort of my journey in the history profession, or how I interpret current events through a historical lens, and that's what this channel is going to continue to be about, is to be about history, how to pursue history, and how history is impacting the world around us right now. Um, I learned that. I learned also to have realistic expectations, or maybe no expectations. That's really what I had. I really had no expectations of what would happen with any of my videos. If I'd get any viewers, get any subscribers, I had no idea. So I think if you go into this and you think, oh, I'm going to have some viral videos, I'm going to get 1,000 subscribers right off the bat, I'm going to monetize this. This will be my, this will be I'll quit my job and I'll be able to do YouTube full time. I don't. I think you're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment and maybe failure. So I really didn't have a lot of expectations one way or another. And so that means that kind of anything that came in that was positive, I've been really happy about. So having some realistic expectations was a good thing for me. I also learned this too. This has been a fun distraction after getting fired from my job. Quite frankly, yeah, it's some work. Putting together a video, putting together a script, thinking about topics you want to talk about, doing the editing, all those things. There's some work involved to that, but that and learning the new skills. That's a positive distraction away from the catastrophe that was the ending of my job. So it's been really a great place to kind of focus my energy somewhere else, instead of just constantly worried about looking for work or submitting resumes, or beating myself up over something at my former job. So it's been really positive for me to focus on sort of some of the data metrics that come in. It's kind of fun to look at the numbers of people who are watching videos. It's been fun to leave comments or respond to comments. And so it's been a great distraction away from some of the other pressures of life. So I've been really glad to see that. And then lastly, I'm still improving the production process. It's not been smooth for me to kind of churn out videos. I've tried to be somewhat disciplined about how often I turn them out and how I do this. But I think I'm still trying to learn how to streamline things, to make things go faster, so that it becomes more of a process and less sort of just sort of like I have a creative impulse and then I kind of attack a video. Instead, there's more of a process in place, so that I can kind of produce videos more efficiently. And that's still a learning process. So that's what I've learned so far. That's been really rewarding to learn all of those things and to push myself in some new skills, especially the technical skills, which I'm not particularly good at. But here are the things that no one tells you before you begin. And some of these things I figured out on my own, and others I wish that someone had told me. But one thing that no one, and all these other creators who are out there, I haven't heard anybody say this one yet, and I think it's really important. The first thing is that no one tells you before you begin. The first one is, do not spend any money to start this. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, do not spend any money. Use equipment you already have. You know, if worst comes to worst, you can use your phone, you can record on your phone, you can upload from your phone. There are lots of creators out there. That's how they started. So don't buy a bunch of gear if you don't if you don't think you're going to stick to it. If you're not sure this is for you, don't sink a bunch of money into this. So for me, I already had a laptop. The camera I got, and I talked about this in another video, I'm using a Logitech StreamCam Plus camera. I got this as a this was the reward for me for working for 15 years at my previous job. So I collected it right before they canned me. And then I do have a microphone now. I'll put this on screen. So I do have a microphone now. The microphone I got from a Target gift card that I'd gotten for Christmas or birthday or something. So I didn't spend any money on that. There's other gear I like to have, you know, like to improve lighting and so forth. But I'm not going to spend any money on anything until I've got any kind of revenue coming in. I don't know if that'll ever happen. So don't spend anything money on anything. There's also lots of like great advice you can get for free from good content creators online. So you don't have to pay for that. There are courses you can pay for, but I would just avoid spending any money on anything until you've got some revenue coming in. And you know, who knows if that will ever happen. So yeah, there's lots of free advice online, and there's also lots of tutorials on how to use your software or hardware. And so if you can't figure something out, I've watched lots of good videos about exactly how to use these devices that I didn't know how to do before. So number one, don't spend any money on anything until you've got revenue coming in. Okay, another two piece of advice that I don't see a lot of people talking about is you probably want to be an expert in the content area that you're creating, or you want to be an expert on the production side of things. I think if you're trying to do both at the same time, that's a steep hill to climb. Um, you know, it is interesting to watch people as they create content and they get better at it, and to see sort of that learning curve. And there is drama in that. And if you watch my own videos, kind of from the first one to now, you can see kind of my timeline, how hopefully there's been an improvement in production values and an improvement in sort of how efficiently I'm making these. And you know, there's been some improvement on the technology side of things. But if you try to learn that at the same time you're learning a content area, that might be really tough, you know. And then there's some of us too that there's some people who are better at public speaking, engaging with the camera, engaging with the audience than others, or better at promote on the promotion side of things. They're getting their videos out there and being seen and with more viewers than I have. But if you try to kind of learn everything at once, I think that's really hard. So you may want to be an expert in one thing already, probably the content area. You probably want to lean in on something that you know a lot about to begin with. And it doesn't really matter what it is, whether it's cooking or playing guitar or geography, whatever it is, whatever your niche is. You know, I'd kind of lean into that and then pick up the other skills on the side. But you don't want to try to have to be learning both a content area as well as production stuff at the same time. That's a lot. Another thing, another piece of advice that, and I do see people talking about this one, um, but one thing that you just can't kind of stress enough as you start working on a YouTube channel is that you have to be comfortable with negativity. You have to be thick-skinned in this. You don't want this to take a toll on your health, your physical health or your mental health. You're going to get negative comments. You're going to get thumbs down. You are going to see videos that don't do anything. Like I've mentioned there, my embracing old-timey stuff. That video has gotten 4 views. They're going to get some videos that just don't do anything. So there's going to be negative things that happen. There's a lot of people too who struggle with self-doubt. They forget criticism from other people. They're going to face criticism from themselves. There's going to be sort of that nagging kind of feeling about, should I do this or should I not do this? And that, that you're going to face that. You're going to face that self-doubt. You see a video not do anything or get negative comments. Maybe that self-doubt start to creep into you. So you have to be kind of comfortable with negativity. There's going to be people in your life who don't understand what you're doing. They don't maybe understand like how this could work or how it's a good thing for you, and maybe they criticize you for that. So people who are like in your real life, your non-virtual life, they'll be critical of you, and so maybe you'll have to face that negativity. There's also people who struggle with presenting, with making speeches and presenting on camera. I've been pretty comfortable with that over the years as a presenter. I've presented at lots of academic conferences and given lots of speeches, and I give lectures to classes all the time. So that's not really been been a big obstacle for me, but that probably is a big obstacle for other people. I'm used to academic debates where um, I've presented papers or published things where I've been criticized by other people in my profession for that, and I kind of understand how that works, and I don't take it personally. They're criticizing my output. They're criticizing my point of view, and I can live with that. I'm fine with academic debate, and I don't really take it personally. So I'm really more okay with that. Um, but I also kind of take some of the negative comments and that I've gotten, and I've not gotten very many, but a few. And the negative comments that I've gotten, I kind of consider the source, put them in some context. Some people, they just want attention. That's why they leave a negative comment. They want to start something. They want to start a debate. If it's a respectful, healthy debate, then I engage with those people. But if it's been, just very negative, then I'm not. And I'm okay with ignoring things too. I mean, that doesn't really bother me. Um, there's a lot of people too leave comments who I think they're struggling. They're not doing very well, and that's an outlet for them is to leave, to be negative towards somebody else that makes them feel better. So I understand that too. So it can be an outlet for negative emotions for some people, and they just maybe want to try to start something. So a lot of the negative comments, I just kind of consider the source and the mind frame that someone might be in, and just kind of moved on with the next video I've got to do. So if you are interested in creating a YouTube channel, at the end of the day, after what I've learned after 3 months and what I wish I'd known after 3 months, I would say this: go for it. You kind of have nothing to lose except for some time. Like I said, don't spend any money on it. That way you're not out anything financially, but at least go for it, give it a shot, see if you like it. If it's not for you, you don't have to keep doing it. It will definitely challenge you though, in one way or another. Whether if you're not a techie like me, and maybe it'll challenge you with using technology, or on the flip side of things, if you're great with technology but struggle with presentation, then you're gonna learn some things about yourselves from doing that. So I'd say go for it. I think it's going to and be a new way for you to engage people. You'll find a new audience for something that you're already doing or something you're passionate about. You can share your knowledge. You can teach people other things. So I think for all those things, it's been really exciting. And so for if you're thinking about it, I would say give it a shot and see what happens. Hey, for all of you out there with small channels and people just getting started, hey, good luck. Thanks a lot for tuning in, listening to this Desperate Historian. I'll see you next time.